Welcome to the Kingdom Podcast, featuring Commissioner Christine King, where all voices are heard.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Kingdom Podcast, featuring myself, Chairwoman Christine King of the City of Miami Commission. Today, my guest is Mayor Daniella Levine Cava, the first woman to hold that title, and my friend. It is such an honor to have you today. Thank you for joining me. How are you today?
I'm doing great, and I want to say from first to first, congratulations, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, women have been doing amazing things. I don't know if it's this year, but I just feel the energy that we bring to public service. I think it's different, and we're a little more calm. And we bring a certain level of je ne sais quoi.
I think authenticity, I think directness and kindness are certainly qualities that men may possess as well, but we can proudly own.
Yes, compassion as well. Compassion as well. And we are approaching our budget season. Yes. And there's a lot of things going on. Would you like to share? I know you are having these sort of town hall meetings where you're meeting with folks in different areas of Miami-Dade County to talk about the proposed budget. Would you like to share with my viewership?
Sure. Well, I'm all about participatory government. We are here elected to serve our consumers, our customers, and the budget is a reflection of our top priorities. And after all, we're spending the public's money. So I take it very seriously that we need to make sure that our community understands what are the revenue streams, what are the budget requirements, responsibilities, and then where there's room for public input, we really need to be sure to include it. So we've gone out of our way to be the most participatory mayor's office in history in the county. And we've had a series of already a dozen or so, and many more to come, workshops to inform different parts of our community geographically, different interest groups. And it's not just something that happens in budget season. We're talking to our community all year long. And also when I started my first year, we did the most participatory activity in the county's history, Thrive 305, and that created a framework for priorities that the community said were critical, and we've carried that through in our budget every single year.
I completely agree. I've taken a page out of your playbook. The City of Miami, for the first time ever last year, we had our public budget meeting on Saturday.
Very good. Because
I wanted to ensure that everybody that would like to participate in the process had an opportunity to. And typically, we have our budget hearings during the week after 5 o'clock, and I just felt like that excluded so many people. And I, too, have Constituent Tuesday, where I meet with my constituents the first Tuesday of every month without an appointment. You can just come and see me, and I rotate around the various offices that I have in the district so that I can meet with everyone. And I love it. It is the best day of the month for me when I get to hang out with my constituents, and they show up, and I love that. And in August, we celebrated Black businesses, small businesses, 305 businesses. And as a Black business owner myself, I've had my law firm now for over 15 years. I was happy to be a part of it, and I shared the stage with Chairman Oliver Gilbert. And I know that you are investing in our small businesses, our Black community. Would you like to share with us some of the things that you're doing?
Absolutely. And I want everyone to know this is not something that I started as mayor or as commissioner before that. My entire career, and even before that as a student, has been focused on lifting up communities that have not had the same opportunities or benefits. And so it's just really a great opportunity for me as mayor to lift up those opportunities in our administration. So one thing is MDWE, That's the Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust. Bill Diggs is our new executive director, CEO. This is an office that is the only one in county that's dedicated specifically to our Black community. The rest of the county does many things to benefit the community, but because of a court decision, we cannot be explicit about our focus on race.
Right.
Nonetheless, we monitor and make sure that every community is benefiting. But in my administration, we've increased the general fund investment in MDWE to make sure that they could go above and beyond and do even more. So this is the second really big showcase Black Business Month. We're really excited how well it's gone, and we're going to continue to be a strong support. Even though it's an independent agency, it reports up through my community services arm, Morris Copeland, our chief, and we're 100% behind. I know, for example, that small business grants were given recently to 100 businesses in the Black community. That's
$1,000
huge.
grants.
That's huge. As well, in my office of my office of innovation and economic development, that's headed by Chessie de Quesada-Covey, we also have the Biz Up grants, and we also have a small business focus, Strive 305. Daniella Vargas has been leading that effort for many years. He's helped about 5,000 small businesses with coaching, mentoring, training, and it's all online too. miamidade.gov/strive305, and access to capital, everything we can do to lift up those businesses.
That's fantastic. I do a lot of work with MDWE. As I said, I was part of the 305 businesses, Black businesses, for August, and I also work with MDWE with my homeownership program. They provide down payment assistance and closing cost assistance to first-time home buyers, which is a fantastic program. And I modeled my program so that I could stack resources, which really helps create first-time home buyers. And what I love about my being commissioner and chairwoman is the relationship that I've carried with Miami-Dade County. Because I used to be a Miami-Dade County employee for many years, and I know the services that they have. And I reach out across the aisle to them, and they're so responsive. Bill Diggs is doing a wonderful job with MDWE, and as well as Community Action Agency. I believe the name changed since I left.
Yes, well, Community Action and Human Service Departments merged under my predecessor, who was trying to collapse the number of departments during the recession. But it goes well together, Community Action and Human Services Department. They are also doing a range of things new in my administration. The Office of Housing Advocacy, which came about because of the huge need, the high cost of living, especially driven by our unaffordable housing costs. That office is helping thousands of people, and we've prevented 25,000 evictions. We now have an eviction protection program with legal service programs. We've also done a great deal to preserve affordable housing, and just a couple of weeks ago we got $40 million from HUD in a special program, only 8 places in the country.
Wow.
To really double down in the Goulds area. So these are just some examples of what we're doing. Also, I have the first ever Office of Equity in the county, and Jason Smith is our Director of Equity. And now our Deputy Chief of Staff, Cassandra Arnold, is leading on equity and engagement. So we're really out there, and like you say, together with the city, we're so proud of our partnership with you.
Yeah, you guys are doing a fantastic job. I'm so proud to serve now. I'm so proud to serve now because I see the transformation, and it is the first time in close to 30 years that the county commissioner for my district and the city commissioner have a relationship, which has increased our services, that we partner together. If I have a problem that's really county specific, I'm able to reach out and speak to our county commissioner, Keon Hardiman, and together we get things done. And there's no competition between the two of us. And
yeah, so Commissioner Hardiman not only is so dedicated to community and economic development in his district. But he also was the sponsor of the Peace and Prosperity Plan.
Right.
So that came about from the naming rights of the arena. And it's $19 million over time that we're investing in crime prevention, job creation for young people, all kinds of opportunity building that he has truly championed and is showing great results.
Yeah, he does. And one of the things that I'm trying to work on in my district is making the city of Miami more walkable. I've visited several different cities, and they have such walkable spaces. And I know Miami-Dade County is working on its transit so that we'll have, because we just don't have any more space for cars.
Exactly.
The cars are going to have to fly now.
Yes, I completely agree. And walkable, bikeable.
Bikeable.
Right. And so we unfortunately have had a high accident and even fatality rate for our pedestrians and bicyclists. So we have our Vision Zero plan. We're working diligently to bring in more protected bike lanes, safer sidewalks, like you say, wider sidewalks. And we have made some progress. And let's talk more about how the city and county can partner. Our Department of Transportation and Public Works is led by Euless Cleckley, who has grown up doing transportation projects, and he's done them all over the country. He's a national leader. We know we are partnering, but I think we could do even more.
Yeah. And we are here in the historic Lyric Theater, which is Overtown. And we have two big projects coming online for affordable housing and market rate housing. One we shared the stage with for Block 45.
Yes, we were there for the groundbreaking.
Yes, and that is going to offer housing opportunities for, and you wouldn't think that this is an issue, but for folks like assistant state attorneys and public defenders, right. Because I understand that they're having a hard time retaining
Absolutely.
attorneys because the high cost of living.
Yes.
And I'm really proud to be a part of, as the chair of the Overtown Community Revitalization Agency, in helping to create housing for various persons economically, from Block 55, which is a housing development for seniors that's completely Section 8. For seniors who are on Section 8.
Right. People might not know, listening, that Section 8 means that you never have to pay more than a third of your income on housing. That's huge.
It is.
That's the guidance that the federal government provides for what is a reasonable amount. And we know we live in the most housing burdened place in the country, with more people not only spending more than a third, but more people spending more than 50% of their housing, their income on housing. So it's so critical, these projects, and looking as well at targeted jobs, like you say, our public defenders, our state attorneys. If we can't keep them, then we can't have our law enforcement adequately protecting our residents, and also our teachers, our law enforcement,
nurses.
Yes, all of that. And so there are a number of projects that do target that sector, our workforce, if you will. These folks are making a decent income. We could do better by them, for sure, and we need to be competitive. Look, we are down to a 2.2% unemployment rate in Miami-Dade County. It's the lowest in the state. It's lower than the national average, and that means it's harder to get and keep our workers.
Yes.
And so we have to be mindful not only to raise salaries, but also to keep expenses low.
Yeah. I saw that. I watched the Obama documentary about working people in the United States, and I was amazed at how it is difficult for us to retain a workforce.
Yes. Well, in the county, and I'm sure in the city as well, we've come up with signing bonuses. We do on-site hiring at our job fairs. We promote that working with the county is working to thrive. We're working hard on our internal culture and support for our workforce. So, we're competing with the private sector and other cities and states for the talent.
Yes, we are. Are there any projects that you would like to talk about that we haven't spoken about?
Wow. Well, just to go back to housing, because it is our number one concern right now, we've done a lot. The eviction prevention, 32,000 units of affordable and workforce housing in the pipeline, but we need everyone to step up. We need to have more mixed income housing. We need our developers to be creative. We need our school system, which is part of the solution, to provide their unused properties for space. So this is not a problem that's going to go away in the short term. We need everybody on board. Septic to sewer, I want to mention that, and I know in the city as well, we have a lot of aging septic. The seas are rising, the climate is warming. These are definitely, everyone can see and feel the difference, and that is also creating risk to our water.
Yes.
So there's overflow of the septic, it pollutes the bay, it kills the fish. We're so fortunate not to have had a massive die-off in this summer season, but we know the bay temperature is extremely warm.
It is.
And that is our lifeline, our economy. So not only septic to sewer, which you're going to see a lot more of those projects coming to fruition. We brought down $1 billion in infrastructure money to really modernize our infrastructure, including our water, sewer. So that is critically important to all of our communities. District 1 Commissioner, our Chairman Oliver Gilbert, is putting some additional dollars into his district. So stay tuned for that announcement soon. And in the Little River area, we've been very aggressive, just to name a few. So housing, environment, public safety. Both the city of Miami and Miami-Dade County really have done well. We have reduced our serious crime rates, and people feel safe. People are moving here because they feel safe.
Yes.
Nonetheless, we know that there is still too much gun violence. We need to take guns off the street that are illegal, especially now with changes in the gun laws. There are more guns out there.
It's very alarming.
Very alarming. And we have to focus on prevention. The peace and prosperity, keeping the kids engaged in something productive, that is hugely important. Neighborhood policing. We have a really great neighborhood policing program that helps build trust. We have great trust with our residents and law enforcement because they need to tell us what they see, what they know.
That's how we create relationships.
Exactly.
In my district, and throughout the city of Miami, we have a great community policing. Each neighborhood has a commander, if you will, and I know I take my police officers with me to my different association meetings, and they get to know the neighbors, and that's the best part of having our police be present, not just to arrest people. That's not the first time they should make contact with the community during an arrest.
In the parks, so we have a county police division that just deals with parks. So it's Gwen Cherry or for the county parks, and I'm sure you do for the city as well. They're friendly officers. They're on the scene. They're helping out with the sporting
They're
events.
on their bicycles.
Yeah, so these things help to really build trust and interest, too, our young explorers.
Yes.
I was recently at an event in a Little Haiti community, and we were heavily recruiting for young explorers just to make sure that people are in communication and know that police are there to assist, and as you say, not just to deal with crime.
Right.
I want to mention trees. So
Tree canopies.
Tree canopy.
Yes.
So as far as heat goes, trees make a difference.
They do.
Also reducing the carbon in our environment, which is part of the climate change and extreme heat. So we are heading towards 30% tree canopy, whereas we've had only 20%. That can make a huge difference in eliminating heat islands, especially in our urban areas.
Yes.
And we need our residents to take our donated trees, take care of our trees, that this will help them reduce the temperature by as much as 10 degrees where they
We
live.
I have that program actually. It's funded for Liberty City, and we started planting a week or so ago. And it is our goal to put trees, to create more tree canopy in Liberty City to alleviate some of that heat
great.
issues, as well as beautify the community and eliminate areas where you can illegally dump, because that's a huge problem.
Well, I'll mention for your viewers who are utilizing county solid waste collection that this is a hot topic because we had the facility in Doral, the waste-to-energy plant, burned down. That was half of our garbage was
Yes.
disposed in that way. And it's limited how much we can use our landfills. We have to have 5-year supply or we can't develop anymore. So we have an aggressive plan. We've been rolling it out. And we do need and are asking our residents to support a $36 per year increase, which comes to 75 cents per week. So when you break it down, people can see any increase hurts people
Yes.
who are struggling. But in the same time, if we don't get that increase, we're going to have to cut back service. Instead of twice a week pickup of garbage, it'll be down to once a week. So we're really asking people to help us. We have a longer term plan that will be more equitable, that will charge across the board more for the bigger garbage producers and less to a typical homeowner. So the
right.
price will actually go down. So we're hopeful. And then we're also looking long term at reducing our waste. We need a zero waste strategy, cut back, reuse, don't throw out those plastic bottles.
Right.
Come back with something that's reusable. That makes a huge difference. And I want to mention about children. In addition to our Community Action Human Service Department that hosts the Head Start program, mental health services, domestic violence services, and a range of things, we are also in this budget proposing $3 million for child care subsidy. Because if people can't get child care, they can't go back to work.
Right.
And our children need to be engaged in also productive educational, safe activities, nurturing activities. So there's a program that the Children's Trust is promoting. They think the state will change eligibility this coming year. So just to bridge the gap, we're saying with this money and additions from the Children's Trust, we can get more children into quality child care, get more people back into the workforce, and push the state to step up with a higher eligibility. And finally, college bound. Miami-Dade College has many students that are there, many first-time college bound.
That's right.
And they cannot afford the price. So we are participating with a contribution. My proposed budget has to be approved by the commission to provide some scholarships to make sure that nobody who is enrolled has to drop out for lack of funding.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic news. You know, I'm a graduate of Miami-Dade College. I was recently installed in the Alumni Hall of Fame.
That's great.
And I am such a big advocate for Miami-Dade College.
Yes.
They really give a quality education, and they give students, like you said, first time generation going to college, the opportunity. And from there, we can go to Harvard or Princeton and anywhere. And I love the partnership that they have with FIU University.
Yes.
They're doing wonderful things. I'm a big supporter of Miami-Dade College,
yes.
and I'm glad to hear that you are proposing that in your budget. There are so many fantastic things, like the septic to sewer. My mom lives in unincorporated Miami-Dade County, and she's on sewer, and septic, and it would be great for her to cross over into a sewer line.
We have to be aggressive about it to protect our water quality and also our drinking water. The Everglades is a key part of our agenda. We all drink Everglades Finest. Oh, that's right here.
That is
Everglades
Finest. It is. Everglades Finest.
As a matter of fact. And it's high quality, tastes good, and we need to make sure to protect our environment.
It also reduces our consumption of bottled water, because I don't buy bottled water at home. Only if I'm out and I'm not going to be in
Yes.
I grab a bottle from the store, but for the most part,
Yes.
and I don't buy bottled water for the house.
So I have so many reusable water bottles that have been given to me. I've got a bag of them in my car to take to my office to give out to people. My husband said no more drawer space for these.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say to you that we give out at all of our public events reusable bottles, and we don't bring bottled water. We have big tanks of water and a spigot,
Really?
and people can refill them right there. So something to consider. I wanted to bring up something that we haven't touched upon yet, which is, well, we haven't talked about transit. There's a good topic. And certainly the city of Miami has a great trolley system.
We do.
And some
free trolley system.
All right.
Hop on, hop off.
And we have other cities with great trolley systems too. We need them to integrate better with our transit system in the county. People have asked about that, and that's not a requirement, but
Right.
we need to make
But
it a
it makes
requirement.
sense.
It makes sense.
It makes sense.
So we're looking at how to incentivize that. And we also are rolling out the Better Bus Network, which will get people to where they need to go faster and more reliably on the most frequented routes. So we started in July with Phase 1. Phase 2 rolls out in November. And we're back to pre-pandemic ridership levels
Oh,
on our
great.
transit, which is better than most cities.
Mhm.
So we're doing well, and we know that people want to use public transit and get those cars off the road if they can rely upon it. So we're working really hard on that. And also for our procurement, we are doubling down on local procurement, diverse procurement, environmentally sound procurement, procurement that recognizes the value of our workers. That's called purpose-based procurement, and it's something that I have launched so that we can, across the board, make sure that we're getting our value for our money. We don't want to just go cheaper if it's cheap in the
Right.
short run, but it costs us more in the long run.
Right,
We want to
exactly.
be sure that we're recirculating that money in our local economy, hiring local, hiring small
local,
businesses.
Small businesses.
So we've been very, very aggressive
I'd
about
love
that.
to partner with you on that.
Great.
The City of Miami, we have workshops. Our procurement department,
Yes.
we have workshops. We have workshops at Charles Hadley Park
Yes.
where we advertise that, hey, if you want to participate in the procurement process for the City of
Right.
Miami, how to become a vendor, what you need to do. And we do that several times a year
Yes,
because
yes.
we are trying to hire local and small businesses and cut the red tape
Exactly.
in getting into the system.
For sure. And we started also our vendor academy. And recently I saw a big city procurement fair coming up, and I spoke to our chief procurement officer, Namada Apal, and I said, Namada, are we involved with the city's program? We need to be involved.
Yes.
And she said, yes, we are, but we also do our own. And I said, no, ma'am, we need to really knock it up a notch and make sure that we're integrated. So great minds think alike.
Yes,
Madam
yes,
Chairwoman.
thank you, thank you.
Totally.
Thank you.
And we've also taken guns off the street. I didn't mention that. And a lot of people don't know one of our housing programs. It's called Mortgage Relief Program, but it's for more than mortgage. It's for anybody who has difficulty paying maybe increased insurance or carrying costs for their homes. It's $1,500 per household. It's administered through Neighborhood Housing Services. Please, everyone, check out all of these programs at miamidade.gov/homes. We
Would
want
that-
people to take advantage.
Would you be able to use that for, say, association fees?
Absolutely.
Oh, because you know an
Those-
HOA could foreclose on your home for a fee.
Exactly. That was one of the. I think by calling it Mortgage Relief Fund, people were not quite so aware. So we're bumping it up and telling. We might change the name so that people have a better awareness. But it's available. We have quite a big pot of funds available for that. And we also have, for those living in condominiums where there's a special assessment for repairs needed, we
that's
have up
big.
to $50,000 interest-free, zero-interest loans for 30 years.
That
Isn't
is
that something?
big.
That is
That
really
is
big.
big.
So we're using our surtax money to do that so that people can maintain their homes and not lose them. And we really want people to know about this program. Again, miamidade.gov/homes for all of those programs.
That is huge. That is huge because some of
Yes.
these condos after the devastation of the collapse in Sunny Isles.
Yes. Yes,
There
everybody went and inspected, and
Yes.
special assessments so high. People don't have that money.
That kind
They
of
don't have
money.
those savings.
Right.
So this is really a lifeline, and I'm really grateful that we came up with it, that we have the source tax dollars to use for it, and we really want people to take advantage of
That
it.
is very smart. That's a
Yes.
very smart program. That's going to help so many people.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Well, Madam Mayor, you're doing all of these wonderful things for Miami-Dade County. What do you do to relax? Because you're everywhere. You are everywhere.
Yes,
What
but
do you
remember,
do?
we do see each other out and about.
That's
so
right.
Back at you.
That's right.
But I will say, I didn't get a chance to mention culture, so let's talk about culture.
I was just at an event, a dance performance that was in the Little Haiti Cultural Arts Center. It was fantastic. And sponsored by the Arts Center.
Oh, great.
And I went to the preview before it was open to the
Oh,
public.
nice.
So fantastic.
Well, we have just a potpourri of great cultural venues and events, and I think we need to do more in the Black community to lift up culture, our great history and culture. We have the historic Hampton House, which has kicked it up a notch, and we are providing ongoing support, which we have not in the past. We also have the MOCAD, which is about diaspora African arts,
Right.
that we have supported and look forward to supporting in the future, and an African American History Museum coming online that we've supported in the planning phase. I love going to plays and movies. Just recently we had my guest showing, I guess, of My Cousin Vinny, which is a great
Really, I love that movie.
So we're going to do more of that to bring a culture, but we have a great cultural arts department, more to come. And the other thing I do in my spare time is commune with nature. We do canoeing and kayaking and sailing and everything on the water, and we need to introduce our young people to the beauties of our two national parks, Everglades National Park, Biscayne National Park. So these are true treasures.
And Virginia Key Beach.
So I'm so happy you bring up Virginia Key Beach in your district, and something that moving forward, we know there's a lot of support to do that, and we're standing by so we can support you.
We're going to be
moving
having
forward.
public meetings soon and have the community come out at the space.
Great.
We're going to be at the space and have the community come out to see. We're in the planning phase of the museum
Great.
that was promised, and I want to hear from the constituents to see what is it you would like to see this space become. So look forward to those public meetings that we're going to have, and I'm just so excited. Like you, I love the arts. I love dance. I love plays. I like to go to Broadway shows that we have here. I saw Wicked earlier this year, and I was so blown away by that performance.
Yes, yes.
And I love that our city is so diverse, that there's something here for everyone. And I hope to bring Miami Carnival back to Miami.
Oh, well, stay tuned for other arts performances and venues. So let's talk about that. We haven't said much about parks, and I was recently honored to be appointed to the National Park System Advisory Board. I attended my first meeting in Washington a week or so ago, and I have to tell you how impressed I was with the nature of the system, wanting to bring history to light, inclusion to light, and there are a number of national historic monuments that have to do with African American history, Native American history, things that the parks system, National Park System, is wanting to bring forward. So, and on that note, we have a marker coming forward to remember and acknowledge Arthur McDuffie.
Oh.
And so we're working on that, and we'll be in touch with you to plan
Great.
an event.
That's great.
Yes,
That's
so
great.
that's something that's been in the works. Dr. Marvin Dunn helped to spearhead that. The family, very involved in paying tribute and remembering our history.
And we have to remember our history. There's a lot going on about trying to erase our history or not remember our history. But if we don't remember, if we don't honor our history and we forget, we're doomed to relive it.
No question.
We're doomed to relive it.
Yes, thank you. I'm pretty passionate about that too. And I say we do not deny our history in Miami-Dade County. And Black history is all our history.
Amen.
And let's lift it up.
Amen. Amen.
Yes.
And on that note, we're going to move into a segment that I called the Spitfire Round, where I'll ask you 5 questions and you have to just say what comes to mind. Don't think about it too much.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, what is the most dangerous thing you do?
Well, you could say get in a car every day, but also the river sports. I did fall on the Yampa River in Colorado and break my wrist and had to have surgery. And I have some artificial pieces in my wrist right now. So that is dangerous. But fun.
Okay. Do you have a theme song?
This Girl is on Fire.
I love that song. This girl
This
is on
girl is on
fire.
fire.
That's right. Do you have a favorite book that you could share with our listeners?
Well, I really loved Anna Karenina. But it's just epic. Sweeping every aspect of politics and relationships, and that's just one that comes to mind. Anna
I haven't read
Karenina.
that. I'm going to check that out.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to check that
Powerful.
out. I read every day.
That's
I just finished a Stephen King novel,
Okay.
Fairy Tales. And
I don't read scary things.
it wasn't scary,
No?
though. It
Okay,
wasn't
good.
scary. And his work is so smart. And I read on the Kindle, so I don't know how big a book is. And it turns out that book was 600 plus pages. But it was a very nice story.
That's
It was my
beautiful.
summer read.
Beautiful.
If you could have dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would it be?
Oh, goodness. Oh, living or dead. That's a big... Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth?
Yes.
Why?
I think she was an extraordinary person. What she did in her lifetime, we've learned more because of the TV
Yes,
series.
yes.
But how she straddled politics and coped with the incredible global challenges as well as domestic, I think is phenomenal. And I just was very intrigued about how she took that mantle on and how she moved forward with her life.
At such a young age
At
as
such a
well.
young age,
At
yes.
such a young
Yes,
age,
yes.
yeah. Now, if you could give your 20-year-old self advice,
Oh, goodness.
what would you tell yourself?
Well, it took me till my 50s to probably follow the advice.
Me as well.
Yeah, to slow down, to listen more than talk, to be present to myself and to others.
But that's good advice.
Yes,
And
yes.
like it or not, we are role models for our youth. So maybe if one or two of them listened to us, they wouldn't have the angst that we lived through.
Yeah. Yeah, I think young people are different today than when I was a young person. I think they're bolder.
Yes.
I think they take more risks. They're more impatient. And I think that's what the world needs.
Yeah. And they're smart too.
Yes.
They are really smart.
Well, there's so much information at their fingertips
That is true.
or in the stratosphere. And really the challenge is how to make meaning of that and how to choose wisely the information that you consume.
That is true. That is true. Particularly in this world of social media and wanting instant gratification.
Yes, yes.
That's true.
Yeah, and also so much of what's out there is overwhelming, And mental health issues are definitely becoming very known, and social media manipulates and increases the impact of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing that too often, not only in self-destructive behavior, but in aggressive behaviors.
Yes. We're doing some fantastic things, and I'm sure you're a part of the project with Judge Leifman. Miami-Dade is a big sponsor of that, and the aspect of addressing mental illness with our homeless population is so forward-thinking.
Absolutely.
I'm so proud of that project. I'm so proud to be a sponsor of that project. He was also a guest on the Kingdom podcast.
Yes,
and I did a tour of the facility, and it feels like a resort. And what they're going to do for our homeless population that suffer from mental illness is a game changer nationwide, because there's no other facility like that in the United States. And I'm proud that it's coming to Miami.
Yeah, great. Well, definitely Judge Leifman has been at the forefront of mental health issues, and having the court that he does that really allows us to focus on treatment, already a game changer.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Well, I thank you so much for being a guest on podcast, but I thank you more for being my friend and a mentor and supporting me in my journey and being such a fantastic role model for women all over, not just Miami-Dade County, but all over the U.S. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and right back at you.
Thank you. And that's a wrap. Another episode of the Kingdom Podcast in the can. Thank you, everyone.